Veritas, everyone, with honor, respect, and gratitude. Welcome to our Flowers and Frequency episode tonight. We are here to join in shared space and speak about flowers and their healing components and share an experience. We have such a treat for you tonight. We have a wonderful guest featuring Shanice of the Sun, who is here to speak about her experience and share with you all her understandings and her delight in the experience that I also had. So our shared experience together from this last weekend, we did a shared participation event at the Milwaukee Art Museum with flowers. And so we're going to speak a little bit about flowers as healers, flowers as clearers, and flowers bringing people together, clearing the separation and bringing us into oneness. And so flowers are many, many, many things in our experience. As we said, clearers and healers, they are friends, they are inspiration, they are beauty, they are transcendental, they are also art. And so at the Milwaukee Art Museum this past Friday, my business was featured, elleAndree Floral, in the Art and Bloom fashion show event. So this was a process that I had to go through to get to apply and get accepted. And through 27 years of being a florist, this was one of the first for me. So being able to literally create floral couture, as I would like to say, horticulture, like horticulture, but horticulture, an aspect of utilizing flowers as paint. And then the human body is the canvas. And so Shanice was our canvas with honor, respect, and gratitude, being able to wear these beautiful flowers and be able to walk the runway and enlighten and inspire and cultivate more energy of joy within the space. And it was such an awesome experience. So we're here to share about that and share the wealth of the joy and the frequency and understand how flowers really are vessels of healing energy and inspiration to bring us all together. So this is going to be a different session, very exciting, allowing ourselves to really just go into this understanding and this truth. And before we begin, I just wanted to share our honor, respect, and gratitude to LaOta of the Sun and the Of the Sun community for allowing us to share in this space together and bring forward all of this joy. There are several happenings within Of the Sun. All are listed in the description of today's podcast. So please make sure you get a chance to go review and look through all of these offerings. Many wonderful things coming up with light body movement. We're about to move into, we have one more week with the throat chakra, moving into the next third eye chakra. So very exciting. You are welcome to join in at any time. So please check that out. And all the many happenings with Enlakesh Studio One, Diane of the Sun, and opportunities for us to elevate together. So please, if you have a moment, check that out and look into all of these. So honor, respect, and gratitude. Welcome, Shanice and Lakesh. How are you tonight?
I am good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, so excited. So excited to see you again.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So we're here to speak about our experience and just a little bit of background information for you, for everyone else who's joining in. Art and Bloom is a movement. And it is something that spans across the country. So it's featured here in the United States. And one of the things I love about this is that it is featured in art museums. So it's specific to only art museums. Now, not every city does this, but there are multiple throughout the United States. And every spring, after the spring equinox, there is the celebration of life. And so what happens is each city that participates holds a selection process for florists to apply and create floral artwork in combination really with a very famous art piece. So it's their interpretation of the art. And so it's bringing life into the space. It's utilizing the flowers as the paint, as we talked about. So this is an exhibit that usually runs about a long weekend or so at each location, but not every location. However, Milwaukee Art Museum offers something extra, a little more special, and goes deeper. And it is a floral couture fashion show where florists are able to create works of art on the human body, and then they walk the runway. And it is such a wonderful, enjoyable, light experience. We had about almost 1,000 people, I believe, that were here at this event. It is a ticketed event that you are able to come to, and just really, it's floral enthusiasts. And what is this? It's the bringing people together. So this artistic form, and flowers are art, to really look at it from that perspective and utilizing every little detail and creating this experience for people to think and elevate and admire and engage with. So it's really a movement. And I just wanted to ask your thoughts. Was this your first time hearing about the experience, or had you heard of it before and engaged with it?
Yes, I have. Every year, it is a big thing here in Milwaukee, Art in Bloom. Um, but then at the same time, I've heard, after I did this, so many people said they didn't hear about it. But I've heard about it year after year after year, Art in Bloom being the big thing. And yeah, so I've always wanted to go. And just happened to be that I spoke out of my mouth like, yeah, I'll be there the last time you were on YouTube. And it's like, will I?
I remember that we were speaking. Diane of the Sun and Lakish Studio One had I think it was January or February, a live podcast speaking about flowers, and we were speaking about that. It was up and coming, and I had just found out that I had been selected, and you made a comment. I'll be there, and little did we both know how much you would be there.
Yeah.
So even that story, when I was coming into the experience of this was so much a clearing experience and divine light coming forward. I I was I was getting information little by little from the museum about, protocol and rules and things that we were allowed, and just direction. And they said they could provide a model for me. And I knew in my mind I didn't want that. I was sure about that, but I didn't know who I would ask. And so I was literally just sitting in a space, and a few thoughts came into my mind, and almost immediately as I started writing down, your name and your face came into my mind. And I knew in that moment I have to ask Shanice. And so it was a process of guidance, stopping me from going in a different direction, in more of a third dimensional direction. Thinking, trying to, oh, well, this person, I think she models. I'm pretty sure she's modeled before. I was thinking only in a model mode. But my guidance came in to stop me and literally say, no, think in the energy mode. So when I called you, I remember, I think you were driving in your car.
Yeah.
I said, and the Cash and Veritas. And I shared with you my question, if you would model for me, and there were literal tears.
Yeah. This was a boo-hoo, ugly cry, tears, like, oh my God, I just got picked for next top model or something. Like, it was that serious for me. Like, it was, and I was like, oh my God, I need to pull over. I'm almost at the grocery store. Oh, my face was red, my eyes was red, my nose was red.
It was, I could feel the energy. And what was so important about the concept, and we'll share this with everyone in a moment, the idea of the piece was to have the appropriate energy and the appropriate person be able to portray the information, to bring the essence of the art and the energy and the flowers extra life. Because here there is life that is a part of our experience, but your energy is what also brought everything together. And so that enthusiasm and that joy and that energy of true gratitude was what was transcended and people could feel. Energy is felt. We know this. Energy is a real thing. We can feel when something's positive, when something's negative, whatever that is, we feel it. And so to have that portrayed through your essence was, I mean, the tip of the iceberg. It was wonderful. I'm so grateful. You really, you really were the shining light. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. It was an honor and a privilege, and yeah, this really, I guess it was something that I called for, not knowing that it would be specifically this. But this is the thing that I called for. And I remember, before I get too far ahead of myself, just knowing that, okay, I'm gonna be modeling this plants and flowers at Art and Bloom. Like, we would go places, me and my husband, and my husband is kind of like high energy, always outgoing, and Lauren knows this because she's met him twice, and he's always, hey, and that kind of person. So
A
I would
frequency
always,
match.
yeah. So I would tell him, like, don't get jealous when my modeling career takes off. And we would go to, and this is just jokingly because we joke a lot, and we would go to places, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Did we tell you? Did my husband tell you? Like, I'm launching my modeling career. Like, I blew it up so much, but that's for me what it was, the joy of the experience and being able to take part in that. It is a lot. And so I would tell, and they was like, oh, is this your first time modeling? And I'm like, yeah.
But that was so integral in the culmination of the experience. The energy that you had going into something was what made the final outcome so exquisite. And each and every time you found an opportunity to lend yourself into more of that energy, sharing it with others, embodying that, embracing the understanding of what you were a part of, you made the situation something greater. And so it not only served the whole of the experience and the event and each of us individually, it collectively created the experience of wonder and awe that was portrayed and felt as you walk down the runway. One of my favorite moments of the whole day, and there's a lot of little moments, but was when you walked down the runway and you first entered in, your hands were at your side. And so I actually should back up just a moment. Shanice, the name of the piece was Angel of Light on the Earth Plane. And so she had wings. And the wings were created out of preserved botanicals and skeleton leaves, which are actual magnolia leaves, and they've been preserved. So the chlorophyll and the mesophyll had been released, and then when removed after the drying and preserving process, there's just the veins. So there are these translucent, very clear, light leaves. And so they were part of the wings, and they were very feathery and very lacy. And so they had these flowy feeling. And so when Shanice first walked down the runway, she had her arms down to her side. So people couldn't really tell that there were wings yet. And so she got to her first marker point, and then her arms went up, and the sound I could hear, because I couldn't see,
Oh, you heard it.
was,
Oh,
it was a gasp of, oh my goodness. And in that moment, all I could feel were goosebumps. So the energy of this wow moment of seeing, and the understanding of each person who was there understood that these were all created out of botanical elements. There was nothing else but
yeah.
flowers and plants. So it was miraculous in this moment to feel and hear that
Yeah.
and then you just took flight, and it just, I mean, my whole heart just widened, and that love filled the room and the space. And so I don't know if you can recall walking in the flowers and the plants. What was your experience as you were walking and embodying this angel light?
Um, for me, because like the first, that first, from the time I left to the time I got to that first stop, um, I had to get rid of the nervousness. So in my head, I mean, I'm hearing my guidance like saying certain things to me, which my higher self is just like, so I had to match, raise myself up to that energy and then just give the people the light and shine,
Yeah.
because that's what it was about, giving the light, showing the light. And when I got to this, so after I got to that first one, the second one got easy when I went to the second stop, because my husband was there and he had told all the people in his area, that's my wife. That's because I was the last person. And so he was like, that's my wife. That's my, everybody clap for my, he was already getting the people ready to see me. So that was good. So all the people in his area, and he got some good shots too. And this was his first time seeing it. This was his first time seeing me. He did see the mock-up. I showed him the mock-up, and we have to talk about that. But when he did, I felt empowered to hear his encouragement and the crowd around him,
Yes.
and to see him smiling. So in the moment, but then I'm hearing second, third, the third one got even. I felt my elevation as I got to the third one. When I got to the fourth one and I heard what the lady was saying, the description of this art, like, baby, I'm like, yes, that's what y'all here for. This is what this is. And yeah, that was just amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. But I want to hear from you. How did you come up with the idea concept? Because when I got it, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, thank you for asking that question. So, when I found out that I was going to be a part of this, I knew automatically that this was an opportunity for me to share everything that I've experienced that has brought me up into the space that I am now. And two of those most important things in my life are flowers, because they've always been with me. As long as I've been a little girl, I started out at a very young age, fascinated, infatuated, moving into greater relationship with flowers, and have spent my whole life around them. They've been with me through all experiences, elevation and times where I've needed more elevation. And so I knew that this was an opportunity for me to move into greater gratitude and respect and honor what has served me so much in so many of my life moments, and what I've chosen to do with the flowers. And then also the aspect of leaning into healer and energy practitioner, and the work and understandings I've learned through LaOta of the Sun and the Of the Sun community. The understanding of oneness, the understanding of coming together to remove separation, the understanding that we are healers and that flowers are ancestors who are organic healers, and that very important as we are now moving through light body movement, to awaken and call back and remember the light and the truth of who we are. And what helps us do that? Flowers, Mother Nature, angels, ancestors. So this understanding for me, this was an opportunity as an artist, a floral artist, to bring all of that together and to share that information and inspire all those who were going to be a part of it, all those who were going to witness it, engage it, to see it, and to hopefully be able to transcend and enlighten those with the information of remembrance, with the information of oneness, with the information of hope, and to recall the truth of who we are and shine our light, to remember we are angel aspects. All of us are angel. All of us are having an experience on the earth plane. All of us are able to ascend and call upon the heavens and the earth energies to help us elevate. And so this was the understanding, and this is probably a good time for me to share the descriptive of what I submitted to the museum. And the museum was so taken with this concept that they actually, and you were with me when we found this out, they selected this piece to close the show, as they wanted this to be that impactful moment. So that was such an honor, and I was super excited. I think I started, when did I start jumping up and enjoy? When I heard that. So I was very grateful. But the visual concept, the design aesthetic is to embody humanity's connection to the heavens and the earth, to radiate rainbow light as the angel aspect on the earth plane. We will draw upon the inspiration that the human body is the canvas of creation energy, and the flower kingdom will be the paint to bring the design to life on the runway. We find ourselves in a time, collectively, to call upon remembrance, remembrance of oneness, remembrance of life, and remembrance of our divine light. This is a time of hope. This piece has roots that draw upon the understandings shared within the ancient Japanese floral art form of ikebana, which symbolizes the harmony between heaven, humanity, and earth. It is time to come together. So this was the understanding and the descriptive that they also read. I was so happy they did this because they did not tell us this. They shared this as Shanice was walking down the runway. So that information was literally brought out and shared over the speakers for everyone to understand and feel and hear the message of what this was. And ikebana is something that is very near and dear to my heart. It was one of the first art forms that I allowed myself to lean into spiritually. Because as a floral designer, I started out my journey as a flower shop girl, cleaning buckets, making bows, cleaning coolers, learning the mechanics. And then eventually, okay, I got to clean the flowers. Okay, I got to maybe start an arrangement. It was a process, but it was so important to have the foundation. And as I got into more of my early 20s, I started to understand that there was more to just modern design. There are roots, there were ancient roots, and ikebana is such a very special design concept that Japanese warriors, leaders, would actually engage upon before they would go into battle. And why? Because they were the ones that were leading all. This understanding of spiritually being aligned in truth, of representing light, power, dignity, and bringing themselves into oneness with earth and nature. And so ikebana is actually a very minimalistic design, and it has 3 planes. It has what extends up to the heavens, so that's one line. Then you have a line that leans down to the earth. And then you have a line that's in the middle, which is humanity. So this understanding of bringing the 3 together is how we are victorious, is how we are one, is how we are operating in truth. So this is a very unique and rooted spiritual design element that I wanted to take the principle of and incorporate into the design. So yes, the dress that you wore is not ikebana, but it brings the concept together. And so the dress that was created, the hem or the base of it, the skirt, were all elements of the earth. So we had different aspects of greenery. We had ivy, we had ferns, we had plumosa ferns, we had smilax vine, we had aspidistra leaves. There were so many different elements. And then we had roots. There were actually roots that we created out of willow branches that were behind her. So the literal essence of being rooted and grounded to the earth, Gaia, and walking in that light. And then from the headpiece, we had the crown chakra colors, and we had branches, dogwood branches with small petite blooms that were awakening to the heavens and reaching to the heavens. So here we have the earth and we have the light of the heavens coming down, and you are the vessel of humanity, the embodiment of that collective. And within the bodice was the chakra center. So we started with the root at red, moving up to orange in the sacral, yellow in the solar plexus, green in the heart, which we actually used anthurium, which are the shape of a heart. And we had a blue collar of delphinium. And then that went into this elaborate headpiece of strung indigo violet colored hyacinth blooms that smelled heavenly. Heavenly. And so it was sensory experience, it was visual experience, it was an emotional experience, and vanda orchids and pansies and just so many different aspects that came forward from the flower realm and were able to shine. And so going back to your original question, even though that was a full answer there, I am asked often, how do you come up with this? And the simple truth is, sometimes I don't. I, I really don't. I get still. And I just allow the information to come through me. I communicate with the flower realm. I communicate with my higher self. And I ask for the information to come through, and I see something. I go into the mind's eye. I feel something. I hear something. I get a visual of a flower. And then it's a knowingness. So sometimes it's really allowing yourself to move out of the ego mind and into the energy and the essence of the consciousness of the flower, of the experience, and what is so important for for humanity to know. And that's why this is more than just a third dimensional experience of a human creating a dress out of flowers, of a human just walking down a runway with flowers. This is so much more than that. This is a multi-dimensional experience where healing took place, where clearing took place, where every single individual that entered into that space that night was brought up in frequency, was brought into a higher vibration through the consciousness of a celebration of a flower. So when we allow ourselves to think beyond, to remove the constructs and look beyond, we will receive so much more that is empowerment for us to be more of who we are. And remember that.
That's amazing. You should show the video because
Yes,
I
because we're
have
talking
so
about
much to comment off of the video to explain.
Yes. Okay. So now that we did just speak about all this, I have prepared a short 1-minute video of the experience. And so I'm going to share my screen here. Bear with me one moment. Okay, here we go.
And I did not know how I looked, um, or anything. And so I think at one point, but there was, I have to say this later, there was a time though in the process that I felt this overwhelming gratitude. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. And literally, I'm standing there for what, 4 hours while you put all of
You
this
were a trooper. She was
together. And so
standing.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry because I just felt this overwhelming gratitude and connection with the flowers and the plants and Gaia. And like I said, I was standing 4 hours. So Brandon, part of your team, I asked him to hold my arms up because while she was tying on the wings, I'm like, oh, my shoulders are a little bit weak. So he was holding up my arms while they do that and my elbows. And I have to say this too because it was just such easy to work with Lauren, to work with her daughter Olivia, who was just, how old is Olivia?
Olivia's 11.
And was just so kind, so professional at her age. And even like the couple that was helping and assisting, everybody was just kind and lighthearted, and we just had a good time. It was just such an enjoyable and pleasant time. Like, I would do it again and again and again, even if it's like at the last minute. This time I was like mentally preparing. And the interesting thing is, even when preparing for this, literally, just not having to do much, not having to put, because I try to do some lashes, which just this is me for an extra effect, because I really don't wear makeup except for lipstick. And so me trying to do something extra, and it just irritated my eyes. I took it off before I even got home. So it didn't even last the hour. So, but my connection with the earth and grounding when I got home was just so comforting. And I was just reminded, like, you're like us. You don't need anything else.
Yes.
Your beauty is enough.
Yes.
And it was just such a beautiful moment. I still have the headpiece. Um, I still have the skirt. And I'm telling my husband, I'm like, she's a florist. She's not gonna do anything with that. What, throw it away? I'm taking that with me. I took everything. I hung the wings up in my suite, where I do my healing work. The skirt, I wanted to wear it to the next day at our grand opening because we had a grand opening. The headpiece, I didn't even realize it because I knew that I was allergic to something. And it was actually the long flowers. What did you call those on the headpiece?
Hyacinth. Hyacinth.
Those. I was allergic to those. My eye was starting to get puffy.
Oh no.
And I was wondering, like, what am I allergic to? But then when I tried to put it on the next day, instantly I got the tinglings and stuff again. I was like, oh, it's this. So I left it at the gym. When I walked in the gym today, that's literally, you open the door, woof, the smell of those flowers hits you. You
Yes.
don't need anything else. I'm like, that's all I need. I can get these every week. And they're just sitting out by the water bubbler and the tennis shoes. So that's a good place for them to be.
By the tennis shoes.
Yes.
Yes.
So
You're
it
clearing
was
something.
amazing. Amazing. And by the time that I got there, going back to like our grand opening of our space was the next day, and people were coming in who were not there saying, oh, I seen, like, soon as they come, the door swings open, I seen that your dress, I seen this, and I'm like, how did you see? Oh, he sent us the pictures and he sent us the video. It was so funny, but it was so beautiful to be able to share, to basically share the experience again, because of course then I'm trying to wear the feathers at the grand opening, my wings, and I couldn't. So I'm pulling up the video and I'm showing people and we're talking about it again. And it was just such a grand and beautiful experience. And it did cause me to remember a lot of who I was, who I am. So it was just so life changing. So life changing.
I'm so happy to hear that. And this is new to me. Hearing of the experience of the next day, and people coming in and being able to relive the experience, and just looking at it from that perspective of how the energy of that experience brought more into your next experience. And will continue to do that. Your excitement, your enthusiasm, your complete commitment to engagement with everything, and your will to allow it to come into your being brought more people into your business to share into this truth, which then got them excited, which they will remember. So it's the flowers were literally bringing not only this community together of flower lovers, but then also next day, people into your business. So the
Yeah.
abundance and the wealth that are shared through your highly vibrational energy and your gratitude to represent the flower realm allowed you to have a reward or a
Yes.
gift to come back to you in your chosen profession. So it's I love to hear that you hung the wings in your
Yes.
studio, and that may they be a reminder to you of that brilliant light, to the angel aspect. May it also be a reminder to every client that comes into your room that they may fly high, that they may lift their wings. And all of this is understanding, and this is really the ultimate truth that I really wanted to share tonight, is how we find ourselves elevated and lifted simply by connecting with nature, by the consciousness of life. The flower realm is one aspect of that. But when we allow nature to enter into our experience, we expand, we learn, we heal. And and flowers in particular, there are flower essences, there are essential oils, there are teas, there are flower designs, there gardening. One I remember reading somewhere those blue zones of the world. These are zones where people live to be 100+ years old, and they asked them, "What is it that you do every day? I mean, how are you living to be 100 years old?" And there were many different things that they shared, but one of them was, "We garden," and that was the same for all of the zones. We're in nature. Our hands are in the soil. We're working with the flowers. We're planting. We are connected to the earth energy that is instantaneous elevation, that is grounding, that is life force energy. This is sustenance for us. And so to remember when we connect with that, however that is, humanity has been so fascinated and infatuated with flowers for hundreds, if not thousands of years. We paint them, we sculpt them, we draw them, we garden, we wear them in jewelry, we eat them, we design them, we gift them to people. There's this knowingness of what they do for us, and how we celebrate life when we give. I can remember how many times being in a flower shop, people coming in and the fond memory they would have of a person just by seeing a flower. Oh, that reminds me of my grandma. Oh, that reminds me of my first boyfriend.
Do you
These were
remember the lady who you gave when we were finished, we walked through and you gave her a piece of one of the flowers in my headband. Like she almost cried. It was an older lady. She was like, "Oh, for me." It was just so cute. And then it was so you gave them to two other people, and then by that point I was like, okay, time to walk away because I want some of this headband myself. So I'm like, okay, thank you.
Oh, that that is the experience. Is we get we get so much reward. We get so much life. We get elevation when we gift others with life. And that's what flowers do. So to be able to share in this experience with someone who was here, like you said, this woman, I remember, she was looking at all the details, and she was just, "How did you do this?" And asking all these questions, and in that moment, just, it was right. "Would you like this?" And she did. And so this is what flowers do. They literally brought forward a human connection through the heart chakra, and more love was created. And flowers were the vessel that brought us together. So the three of us had a moment where we were all lifted. The whole space, this is something else, and clearing. So we talked about this understanding of flowers as clearers. Now, we are quantum light property clearers, so we clear our path, we clear the space, we do the aspects of clearing, we engage in those physical aspects. But I also want to share how important it is, all of these flowers coming together, which are natural clearers, because they are so highly vibrational. Roses are some of the actual highest vibrational aspect in nature. So all of these roses that are inside this major facility with thousands of people, right? The space was so highly vibrational. I did not experience one negative aspect the whole day. The space was so busting with energy and life. Every single person was radiating. I mean, people were helping each other out. Other florists that needed help, other florists were helping those florists. There was no stress. I did not see one designer who was stressing, trying to get their design complete. Everybody was calm. Everybody was grounded. Everybody was fueled with life. And it was so special. I mean, even my path from the whole experience of the actual day, everything came together with such ease and grace. I had the very first parking spot. I had two people waiting to help me unload at the very first parking spot. You were already in position at the table. I didn't need to find where I needed to go. The elevator came, 1, 2, 3. Everything was so on point. So, of course, when we clear, when we engage in these acts of clearing, if maybe we're not quantum light property clears, but maybe we can clear our path and ask the universe to assist us, right? When we take the time to do that, we have success. And so it's a wonderful experience to see that, and how the flowers were such a great tool and vessel in creating that energy of the space.
It was really, and just to echo what you said, everybody to see, like, it was really nice that they weren't playing, because there was already music playing upstairs, because there were people up there, but there wasn't any in the space that we were in. There wasn't any loud music playing or anything. Just everybody really in tune to creating.
Yes.
And you get to see so much beauty and appreciation for flowers and plants and all this life. And that was just really, really beautiful to see. And even one of the ladies, I asked her what was that, because they did have some refreshments. So if you want, I'll get you some. Are you sure? I'll get you some. And because I was like, okay. But just, even having that experience and engagement. And then when I got upstairs, the young lady in front of me, when I got in line, she said, oh, they changed one thing. Instead of 6, it's going to be 5. I said, oh, okay, thank you. Just that kindness amongst the different models and the creators. It was just so beautiful, so pleasant, so nice.
Yes.
And that is always a joy when you're in a space and everybody's kind to each other.
Absolutely. It's so telling. You're reminding me of there was one other designer that I knew who I had worked with last year. And I want to speak about her for a moment because she was present also. And she was one of those kind hearts who really was available to assist everyone who needed it. And her inspiration, I remember speaking to her at the rehearsal, and we were talking, reconnecting. We hadn't seen each other in almost a year. And I asked her, what was your concept? And she said, I saw some orchids and they were so beautiful, the way that they just flowed. And she was describing the flow of an orchid and how it cascades gently. And she said, I was reminded of the female body. And she said, so my idea and my concept is bringing forward the divine feminine energy. And so, this understanding that many other designers were tapping into this intuitive connection of the energy of the flowers, the energy of the human body, and allowing that to come through their work. So that was very telling to me. The other thing I wanted to share that I was very in tune to was the energy and the excitement of those that knew we were participating in this. So LaOta and Tavares and Diane, though, in particular, I could feel just the joy and the enthusiasm and how excited they were to see this, and that was very palpable. We utilized Of The Sun products whenever I do an installation, I use the Of The Sun rose water. And it is a very highly vibrational rose water, but it is also representative of the flower realm. It is, as we just said, the highest vibration in nature. And what did we do in the video? If anyone saw, I was spraying Shanice and the body and the flowers with the rose water and asking the rose water to keep everything fresh and alive. And I remember at that point, Shanice was feeling a little fatigue. And so we spoke to the frequency of the rose water, and it gave her that extra energy. It literally brought her up, cooled her down, and balanced her. And so that was a very important fact, because you needed to be grounded.
Yeah.
And so the flowers were doing that. And Archangel Uriel. We had an Archangel Uriel patch. And so I placed that in the back of the dress. And so here was Shanice, representative of the angel of light on the earth plane, literally walking with the insignia and representation of Archangel Uriel and the archangel realm. So she was walking amongst angels as she was gliding and spreading the wings. And I just know with every ounce of who I am that this was integral to the ease and grace of the experience, the clearing understanding, the gratitude. LaOta says this: gratitude is the currency. The more we had gratitude for the experience, it fed each other. And it was felt by all of those that we were able to engage with, and it made the event such a huge success. So I am still reeling in that gratitude and excitement. I'm so looking forward to the next experience to do this again. It has been so inspirational and motivational, and an opportunity to expand and stretch creation, stretch our creative abilities. This idea of working with our hands, and something I wanted to share with everyone is, whatever it is that you do, let your passion for what you do fuel your purpose, because when you do more of that, more comes to you. And the more you align yourself in that knowingness, you will receive opportunity to do that, not only to expand yourself, but to assist stretching another soul to be inspired and awakened, that they too can do same. And whatever that is, if you're a florist, if you work with breath work, if you're a personal trainer, if you're a banker, if you're a photographer, let what you do be an aspect of healing, and bring light into that so that you can expand every single person you engage with, because it will bring you more opportunity and abundance and wealth and knowingness of who you are.
Awesome, awesome.
Did you have any final thoughts, or anything else you wanted to share about your experience?
I think that's it. A lot of people who've seen the videos and videos on social media, and if you haven't seen that, go to Lauren of the Sun's page on Instagram or Facebook. Um, but a lot of the people who have seen that, and I even share with my aunt who's going to be 80 years old, because I sent her the video because I was just at her house probably about 2 weeks ago. And I'm telling my family I'm gonna be a model, and really dramatic about it. And I sent it to her, and she called me right away, and she was like, "Oh, that was just so nice." And she said, "I'm gonna get this picture off my phone and get this blue up so it can be on my wall." And she was like, "I gotta get this on my wall because this is so beautiful." And she was so happy. So, um, that made me smile because I know from her saying that it's really important. So it was just beautiful, and to see the joy of my mother, and she just kept hugging me. She came to the grand opening on Saturday, and she just kept hugging me. Oh, that was just so beautiful. Oh, it was just so beautiful. Oh, it was beautiful. And just to see everybody else's joy, because again, while you're putting this on me, I did not have the realization that all of this was that I looked like who I was. And so that was a very important piece to me and awakened the truth of who I was, and really awakened and expanded my consciousness. So much growth, much expansion. And yeah, thank you.
Well, and I thank you for shining your light and sharing that with all of us, and for bringing your essence into the creation of this piece. I want to share with you a comment that was posted on social media by an individual who watched you twirl, and she said, "I can feel the energy, the lightness, the happiness coming from the model, even through the phone. Extremely uplifting. Descendants in honor and love of life. Thank you for sharing." And she had a whole bunch of flower emojis. But the truth, the truth is right there. The essence of the experience is continuing through posting the videos and people from all over the world engaging. We had almost 2,000 views in just that one short period of you twirling and spreading your wings. And so for that energy to transcend and inspire and uplift people, they could feel it through the phone. So this is such a brilliant reminder to all of us to allow ourselves to really stretch ourselves, as we heard from Sweet Pea last week, stretch ourselves into being all that we were designed to be. Allow ourselves to live in the fullest experience. Shall we grow into all that we were designed to be? And allow ourselves to communicate that through our engagements with others, and our enthusiasm for what it is that we do and bring forward. So I am so honored to be able to share a little bit about this experience. More to come next month. I will actually be creating something very similar, but instead of on a living model, it will be on a mannequin. It'll be a 6 foot tall mannequin in Chicago on 900 North Michigan Avenue. There will be Fleur de Ville coming forward with 18 different mannequins. And so I will be creating a piece there. So if you find yourself in the area, I believe that begins May 20th through the 25th. So you're welcome to come see us. I will be there speaking, giving presentations, showing people how we created these aspects through demonstrations. And we have the Indiana State Peony Festival next month as well. So we'll be creating an installation within a tree. I'm so excited for that. The essence and the energy of life with the tree. We're going to be creating a floral piece that cascades down into this beautiful vintage love seat that you could sit under the tree amongst the flowers and just feel the frequency. It's a total sensory experience. So this is coming up May 16th in Indiana, in Noblesville, Indiana. So if you're around any of those areas, please come see us. Let's share in this energy and this frequency of life together and expand ourselves and grow and really, really stretch ourselves to feel into our connection with life. These are such wonderful opportunities, and more to come next week. We will be coming to you live from Richmond on location from a floral workshop and installation where we will be doing just massive amounts of floral creations. And so I'm looking forward to sharing some more about that and a communication and meditation. So So many wonderful things to come forward and share with everyone, to get excited, feel into your energy of life, and may you take with you from our experience, our shared experience here together, from Shanice, from myself, from all those that engaged, from all those that were at this event, the joy, the gratitude. Allow yourself to stretch into feeling that energy and bring that into your experience, and know that you can instantly elevate in a moment's notice. The power is within you, and the flower realm reminds us of that. So may you stop for a moment, engage with the flower, breathe it in, feel its energy, and allow it to transcend you into a greater state of all that is. So we bid you adieu with honor, respect, and gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. And we thank you, and thank you, Shanice, again, for being here and for all that is your light, bringing that forward into the truth of this experience.
Thank you, in the Cash and Veritas.
And Lakesh and Veritas, everyone.